So I've been saying time and time again that these live action remakes that are coming from Disney have a double meaning to them. They're not just meant to kind of rewrite history in the sense of, oh, we want to just race swap these characters to all black because that way we can make this story and this narrative about black people being able to finally see themselves in entertainment, even though there was plenty of black entertainment all throughout the decades that I've been alive anyway. But again, they want to spin this narrative. Now, it's not just about turning everything black, though. It's also about rewriting certain aspects of the movie itself. And now we have another situation. So, this one in particular has to do with Disney's live action The Little Mermaid. And apparently, they're going to edit out the classic songs and they will remove certain lyrics that are considered problematic and related to consent and hurting girls' feelings. Yes, they are going to be editing out the words of certain songs because they're deemed problematic in today's modern world. This is where we're at with Disney's live action TV shows and movies. This is where we're at. I don't understand why people are excited for this rehash nonsense that's never going to be good or as good as the original animated series. It's impossible. It literally is impossible because you can just look at it and see how soulless it is, how it has no magic attached to it. And Disney has lost its flair because Disney is now a political company. It is not an entertainment company that is focused on creating magic for young people to aspire to. They're not about that anymore. Now they're about political ideology and whatever their money leads them to. But let's see what this article has to say. So it says Disney's live action The Little Mermaid to edit classic songs will remove problematic lyrics related to consent and hurting girls' feelings. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Disney has revealed that their upcoming live action remake of The Little Mermaid will change the lyrics to a pair of songs from the animated original, which they feel have become problematic in recent years. This unfortunate but not in the least unexpected news was first made public by legendary Disney composer Alan Menken. Himself was responsible for creating the soundtrack to the 1989 animated version of Ariel's story during a recent interview given to Vanity Fair. In light of his being tapped to once again provide his talents to the live action The Little Mermaid, Menken was eventually asked by outlet contributor Leigh Sheps for insight into his time working on the film, to which he first recalled the circumstances that led to him working on a number of new songs alongside Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda. What happened was Lin gave a lot of interviews about just that. Sean Bailey, head of film production at the studio, heard or read one of those interviews. Menken told Sheps he didn't even ask me. He just went to Lin and asked him to work on the movie. I'm used to that. Sometimes I actually find out something of mine is happening in a press release. So this was a case where I heard I'm going to be working with Lin, I guess. We had a great time, he continued. He's really smart. He understands theater really well. He understands a lot of things really well. He's got this, as you know, stylistic brilliance that brings in hip hop and rap and all old musical forms that help. Even though it's a composer, me, and the lyricist, Lin, when we were in the room, all those influences came to band. I have a feeling that Little Mermaid is going to be a little more hip hop focused, and you guys can pretty much come up with your own assumptions as to why you think that might be the case. But I'm just going to say there are certain reasons why that might be the case. Could it be that they're trying to pander to a certain community on top of the race swapping? Who knows? Who knows these days? But I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a little more hip hop oriented Little Mermaid. Not every song, obviously, but some of them probably will be. So again, stay tuned and see if that's the case if you decide to go see the movie, or if you can watch clips about people who may show reviews or whatnot. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of clips on YouTube to check out, even if you don't want to watch. It says from there, Shep pressed Menken for details on the film's new tunes, to which he explained that he and Miranda started their process by having first discussed with director Rob Marshall what he wanted. One was the Prince Eric song called Wild Uncharted Waters, he said. Then there was a song for Ariel where she has her legs, doesn't have a voice, and she's singing her thoughts about all the firsts she is noticing for the first time. Then there was a number called Scuttlebutt for Scuttle and Sebastian. It's this harebrained song for them trying to figure out what's going on because they hear rumors that the prince has decided to marry. They think it must be Ariel, but of course it's Ursula in the form of Vanessa. It's all this delicious imagination. Lynn's lyrics are to die for. We wrote a fourth song called Impossible Child for King Triton, continued the composer. It didn't remain in the film only because dramatically we didn't really need it. It was so great to work with Javier Bardem on that song, and people would hear it as a DVD outtake, I guess. However, when asked whether the film would take any hints from the Broadway adaptation of the animated classic, Menken digressed. It's not like a wheel that goes from animation through Broadway to film. It goes from animation to Broadway, then from animation to film. He elaborated, "It seems like the animateds are the Rosetta Stone, and each iteration becomes a new adaptation from that starting point." Returning to the topic at hand, Menken noted there was a song, Her Voice, from the Broadway show, but Rob really wanted a new song for this moment of waves and all the wildness of what's out there in the ocean. Ariel represented that to Prince Eric, she being the girl who saved his life. Live action films are really a director's medium. They want to go back to what they saw in the animation and take it fresh from there. That seems to be the pattern, and I go along with it. He then admitted, besides the fact that clearly everybody wants a new song for the live action film for all awards consideration. And that's really what all this is. This is award farming, okay? This is really virtue signal farming, award farming. They're trying to get as much as they possibly can out of this movie. And I guarantee you they're probably going to win a bunch of awards, even though they don't necessarily deserve it, because the award shows are just as woke as the movies that are being made. It was at this point in their conversation that Menken would confirm that many had feared when the film was first announced. Guys, if you're still watching this video at this point in time, I appreciate you. Please consider hitting the like button so we can fight the YouTube suppression we fight every single day. It says, met with an inquiry on what was there from anything the original that you redid, or something about it needed to be changed. Menken disclosed there are some lyric changes in Kiss the Girl because people have gotten very sensitive about the idea that Prince Eric would in any way force himself on Ariel. We have some revisions in Poor Unfortunate Souls regarding lines that might make young girls somehow feel that they shouldn't speak out of turn, even though Ursula is clearly manipulating Ariel to give up her voice, he bafflingly added. What the that is a crazy way to try to understand what was happening in those particular scenes. But again, this is coming from the minds of people who are so far gone that they literally think that something like this is considered sensitive. They're trying to say that these lyrics, who people grew up with, who people are expecting to see in the movies, aside from kids who didn't grow up on this, they have to be very young. But again, for them to not have grown up on this, those are the only ones who may not be expecting these lyrics. But everybody else, all the adults who are taking these kids to go see this movie, unfortunately, and giving Disney money, they're going there expecting certain songs. They're going there expecting certain nostalgia. And if you're not going to deliver on that nostalgia, people are ultimately going to be very unhappy. And I know you don't care about that because Disney's not trying to make people happy. Disney's just trying to check off as many boxes as they possibly can with this live action remake and make as much money as they possibly can while doing so. But to seriously consider some of those lyrics to be offensive is crazy to me. You got to be some of the softest people in the absolute universe for me to believe that you are offended by anything that has to be in The Little Mermaid in terms of a song. So again, if you are upset over what's in Little Mermaid song-wise, then I really don't know what to tell you. I feel really, really bad for you, and you should probably reconsider your life overall before going to go watch this movie, because The Little Mermaid is the least offensive thing that I could possibly think of, unless, of course, you are a raging feminist, then you might have a problem with it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.